My last lecture. We did it. We graduated Mayfield Junior School. Those are the words the little girl in a pinafore would never think she'd be saying after a short 6.5 years later. 6.5 years of memories filled with laughs, cries, friendships, and lessons learned. That bright, cheerful, and energetic little girl would have never guessed that this place most call MJS, she would call her second home. From under a chair on a rainy day, to her first friend, to almost poisoning her aunt, to a very unfortunate haircut, to many, many style changes, to the worst year of her life, and the best family she could ever ask for. The people she would look up to take fashion tips from, used as her free therapists, and the people she would trust with her life. Of course, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone around me. First, I would like to thank my parents for being there for me when I cried, when I laughed, and for being there in my proudest moments. Thank you to my mom, who no matter what would never judge me for something if I came clean. She would always be there to have a laugh, trash talk, get sushi with, and cry in her arms. I remember when I was little, I would crawl into her arms and she would sing me songs until I fell asleep. To my dad, for always being there for a good pep talk, teaching me life skills for how to deal with situations. You taught me how to stand up for myself and always embrace my girlness. I thank you for those times that you would take me out to spaghetti during 2020 and 2021 after I had a panic attack, and you would sit there in the back seat with me because they didn't have indoor seating, blasting Taylor Swift. Second, I would like to thank my teachers. I don't think I can express how grateful I am to have such an amazing team of faculty helping me, encouraging me, getting me out of my shell, and boosting my confidence up when I needed it. They have always been there to support me through my toughest days, my anger outbursts, and my depressive moments. To Miss Jensen, my first teacher who always encouraged me to bring out my creative skills. To Mr. Hemak, the teacher that inspired me the most. To Miss Frazee, the one always there in the mornings, afternoons, and during lunch when I needed to rant. I can't think of all the times I walked into her classroom crying, in a bad mood, or in need of advice, and she welcomes me and my problems with open arms. You have helped me through some of the rough patches in 8th grade, and I'm so truly grateful for being my part-time therapist. I would like to thank Mr. Carell for being the teacher that got me in the right mood in the morning, and always had a good roast ready. To Ms. White for challenging me to try my hardest in math, my hardest subject, and to all my science teachers who have helped me pursue it and grow my interest. If she was here to hear this, I would thank Ms. Velasco, my Spanish teacher, who would always be there for a laugh, an amazing teacher, but also had a connection with all of us. I will, without a doubt, miss Spanish class. I knew it was a pain, and I dreaded those dialogue battles, but that little family we had in that class I will never forget. Lastly, I would like to thank all of my friends and classmates. I don't know where to begin with all of you. If I had time to list everyone who's inspired me and been there for me, I would be here all day, but I would like to thank some of the people who have truly changed my life. Ella, for those times I would cry, rant, or yell, I would come to you. You were the only one who told me not to drink that 5th coffee of the day, and probably kept me from overdosing on Monster. To YY, for being the best Adam I could ever ask for. Not only on stage, but late at night, at school, or I could tell you anything, and you were always there and so compassionate and caring, even when I cried while singing the soundtrack after realizing it was over. So the kid, one of my best friends, we hung out literally non-stop during the pandemic, and I could count on you always to be there for me when I needed a good laugh. To Peyton, who I wish could hear me say this, but I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for her. Her and I were 2 peas in a pod, literally inseparable, identical to the point where our fathers got us mixed up. I owe my time at MJS to her. To Owen, for an unexpected friendship after an unexpected drama class. I can come to you for all of my problems, and I know I can joke around with you. Thank you for those 2 a.m. FaceTimes when we just go out on rants. To Xander, who I know just joined the MJS community, but I've known you forever. My brother from another mother, I trust you with my life. I'm so grateful that I can keep in touch with you, and I'm so happy that you came to Mayfield. To Mia, my funniest, dirtiest, and most reliable friend, and I could tell you anything that's on my mind, no matter how weird you would agree. Thank you for being there in the morning for those hugs I needed. You're the perfect height. And I would like to give one final thank you to Mackenzie, my best friend I've ever had. I know that I've been friends for about a year, but to me, it's not how long we've been friends, it's the quality of the friendships. I remember the moment I realized you're going to be my best friend. It was a few days after we came back from online school. We were kind of fresh to each other, but we had told each other so much already. I remember we were talking about something, and someone came up to the desk we were talking at. I looked up at you, and you looked up at me, and we gave each other the look. We knew exactly what the other was thinking without saying it. And that was the moment I realized you were my best friend. I can tell you anything. I trust you with everything I am. I can't even get to all those nights I was on the phone talking to you. That one time that I thought we were getting distant from what someone else said, and I was bawling when I called you to check in. You've made me feel so reassured. I'm so excited to go to Mayfield Senior with you, and I hope to make so many more memories with you because I'm 100% sure that if we didn't find each other, I wouldn't be standing here right now. To the rest of you, all of you seriously, have made such an impact on my life, and I wish I could put into words how much you all mean to me. And it's such a bittersweet moment that I know that everyone I'd be seeing for every day and cheering me on since day one is going to a great high school, but I'm sad to see everyone go. If I look back on my amazing time at Mayfield and think of some of the major lessons that I've learned that have changed my perspective on life, we're learning to express myself. With the help of my friends and teachers, I've been able to express my femininity, my masculinity, and everything in between through my emotions, my fashion choices, and how I deal with the certain situations. The lessons I learned was always to assess your choices before doing so. I still sometimes struggle with this to this day, but having a good impulse control is key to having less regrets and being able to learn from bad decision making. Making a huge decision after not thinking about it long enough can lead to bumps in the road that you didn't take the time to assess first. It is critical that your brain can learn that even after taking time to choose or make a right decision, it might not be the right thing to do, but it's the learning process. Trial and error is the part of learning how to control emotions and bring out your best self. Some ways I have grown from experience are my anger issues. When I was younger, I had a bit of an outburst rage after moving to LA. Not because of anyone specific, but it was a real challenge for me to overcome this and realize that it's okay to let things go. Learning to let things go when needed was key to my emotional status right now. I still get those rushes of anger and frustration sometimes, but it's not as intense and violent as they were, and I'm grateful that my teachers and friends helped me calm down before I got big enough to do actual damage. If I were to look back on all the memories at Mayfield, I would never stop talking. The amount of wonderful core memories that I've made with the students here is astronomical, and I'm so grateful that I got to spend those years making them. In second grade, when I first came, I remember on my first day, I walked into the dark lit classroom. They were doing prayer. Everyone piled onto that tiny rug in Miss Jensen's class with a fake candle in the center. I thought I just walked into a cult, but the rest of the class welcomed me to sit down and join their group. In third grade, I remember I was the Ice Yeti, and I thought it was so cool with that huge club that I got to knock down all the trees. In fourth grade, when we had our moving up ceremony, I thought it was so cool for being at the top, until I got to the middle school building. Sixth grade was weird. I was happy, but I was determined to cut off all of my hair, so I did. We don't speak of sixth grade anymore. Seventh grade, the worst year of my life, but full of lessons. We had COVID, I lost some friends, I was suicidal, but I gained new ones, and I learned to accept that seventh grade will eventually pass. And now finally eighth grade. I'm at the top of the school, in person, done with my identity crisis. My hair is back to brunette, and it's growing back. And I was excited to have the best year yet. The retreat seemed like days ago. That was in September. The Harvest Festival was in October. We had the Christmas concert in December, 4 months ago. This year was fun, stressful, exciting, and it went by way too fast. The play was 2 weeks ago already. I keep crying at those tracks. Graduation is creeping up on us and I'm terrified, but I know that the people beside me will always be there to support me and help me when I need it. To end off this speech, I want to give some advice to any of the younger kids listening. This sounds cliche, and you've probably heard this a million times before, but take it from someone who cut all their hair off, dyed it purple, and bleached the ends. Don't pay attention to what other things. You have one life. YOLO. Go dye your hair pink. Go wear those cute jeans that your friend thinks are ugly, but you secretly love them. Go tell that kid you like them. You only live once. And in the end, people will judge you either way, so choose the funnest option. I regret not taking some of those risks because it's the risks where I had the most fun, I learned the most, and I grew a lot more. As someone said, your life isn't yours if you always care what others think. To conclude, I want to say that it's been a ride. A wild, adventurous, exciting, stressful, hardworking, and fun ride with you all. And I really do appreciate all of you. And I will never forget my time in Mayfield Junior School. And to that little girl in a blue pinafore, have a wild ride.